Have you ever experienced a scenario of disaster? You get into business, you have an idea, you're starting something, you go share it with somebody and you get shut down right away? In our business, we always prepare our guys for scenario of disaster. And it's when you're new, you're excited, you want to tell somebody what you're doing. People are going to ask you a lot of questions, and sometimes they're going to instill doubt or question into, can you do this? Is it going to work out? Are you sure this is for you? Man, what if it doesn't? You know, you have a safe job. Just keep doing what you're doing. Hey, you've already tried something before. It didn't work out. Hey, my buddy tried that. It didn't go good for them. And they're going to give you all these different objections sometimes. Hopefully they don't, but you may have some people that do. And I want to prepare you for that. You know, when you're getting started in business, or you have a dream, or you have a goal, you got to protect that. Because you could tell the wrong person, they can kill that dream or kill that goal without trying to hurt you. I remember when I got into insurance, I went home and I had just paid for some software and some classes and a test date. And I go home and I tell my dad, I said, Dad, I'm 18. Dad, I'm fired up. I'm excited. I'm going to do this insurance thing. I can make a lot of money doing it. I can do it with real estate while I'm going to college and da-da-da-da. And he said, son, why would you pay to get a job? Like, why would you pay for software and a class and a test? Any job I've ever gotten, they pay for that stuff. They should have paid for that. Why are you paying them to work there? Are you sure you didn't get involved in some kind of scam? Like, are you sure? And so I'm like, man, you know what? You're right. At 18, I don't have that many jobs to begin with. I think I had a couple jobs before that. And so I called back my broker and I said, hey, can I ask you a question? This is what my dad said. Any advice on how to handle this? This is a key tip. I went to look for direction before making a final conclusion. And so I said, hey, what does he mean by this? Or what should I say back? How do I answer that question? He says, you didn't pay to get a job. You're starting a business. He says, didn't you get a real estate license? I said, yes. He says, who paid for that? I said, I did, because it's my license and I could go anywhere I want to work. He says, it's exactly the same thing here. You're getting a license to do insurance through the state. If it's not a fit, you can take that license, go anywhere you want to go. And in terms of software, you're going to need that software, just like any kind of business owner uses some kind of software to manage their business. I said, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate the explanation. He says, George, your dad only wants the best for you. And I know that when you're new and you're trying to explain things, maybe you didn't explain it the right way. So he's asking good questions just to make sure you're doing, the right thing. He says, with no disrespect at all, what does your dad do? And I said, my dad works in a casino right now. This is what he does. Awesome. Very cool story. He says, when a person runs a business, have they ever ran a business? Yes, they have. So when they run a business, they have to invest into that business. I said, yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. We used to buy stuff and then resell it. We had a factory, swap meet, etc. He says the same thing. He says, just understand that your dad wants the best for you. He doesn't fully understand what this is. You got to explain it better. But this is a business, George. He says, you just got to be really careful on whose advice you take, because when you take their advice, you're going to end up getting what they have. And we've all heard that quote, like when you buy somebody's advice, you buy their lifestyle too. He's like, so, look at areas that you want to duplicate from the people you're taking advice from. Are your parents together? Yeah, they've been married X plus years, now 40 something at this time. And I'm like, yeah, they're together. I think it's 46 years, something like that. And I said, yeah, they're together. He says, man, that's so special. You need to take advice on how to stay married, how to be married, how to be a husband that way, because that's extremely important. He says, is your dad a good dad? I said, yeah, he's a phenomenal dad. You should take advice from him in that area as well. He says, George, are your parents financially where you want to be? And I said, with no disrespect, but no, I want to be in a better place. They want me to be in a better place. And I remember being 18, you guys, at this time, you look at your father as this, your hero. Till today, I love my dad to death. Same with my mom. Best blessing in my life, in addition to my wife and my kids. And he says, do you want their financial life? And I said, I don't want their financial life. And I want more, and they want more. And he says, and just in that area, be open to other perspectives. I said, that makes a lot of sense. Thanks so much, Pat. So we end the call, and then I go talk to my real estate broker. And I said, hey, I'm gonna tie this into insurance. I'm excited. I'm tied into real estate, because if we can't help people buy a house, we can help them get out of debt, save money. After we help them buy a house, we can give them insurance. And after we help them sell a house, we can reinvest that money. And he said, you're gonna be a jack of all trades. You're gonna be a master of none. So then I call my broker again and I say, hey, can I tell you what was said and how do I process this? And he processed that conversation with me, which there's a whole different video on why I chose life insurance versus real estate that you can watch if you want to watch that. but he processed that conversation with me. Both of those conversations could have gotten me to leave that industry, could have produced a little bit of doubt. I could have dwelled on it, and I could have left that industry, this industry that's changed my life. And it's so important that when you have a dream and that you start something or you want to start something, that you make sure that you protect it, that you insulate that from other people's opinions, and that you only take advice from people that are where you want to be, that have the life you want to have. And if you don't know how to handle something, process that with somebody that's more successful, because maybe their perspective can give you a different one that can actually help you become successful. Take care, everybody.